Month, and Parkinson's Canada has launched the biggest awareness campaign in the organization's history. Joining me this morning is Ian Robertson, who's living with Parkinson's disease. Good morning.
Good morning.
So can you fill us in, for those who maybe aren't as educated on Parkinson's itself, can you tell us a little bit about it?
It's a degenerative disorder of the central nervous system that primarily affects motor symptoms.
And can you tell us a little bit about your diagnosis story?
I was diagnosed in 2012, and I've been shaken ever since.
There you go. And you've had quite a journey accepting your diagnosis, and you've been very prevalent in different awareness campaigns and walks. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I find for myself, I accepted my diagnosis fairly readily, and that's not common among most people with Parkinson's. They tend to delay coming out of the closet, shall we say. But I accepted it fairly quickly. I got diagnosed May 25th, and I posted it on Facebook May 28th. I started a Facebook page called Parkinson's My Superpower, and I got that name because I was waiting in the Lowe's lumberyard to get served, and a little boy asked me why I was shaking, and I said because I had Parkinson's. And he asked me if that was like having a superpower. And I went, yes, it is. And so I've been using that handle since my diagnosis.
That's an incredible origin story of that. That's so awesome. I didn't know that. Can you tell us a little bit about managing Parkinson's on the daily and what it's like for all of these Canadians who are living with it?
Well, the key thing about Parkinson's is that it affects everybody individually. It's a designer disease. So how I go about treating it may be totally different than how somebody else copes with it. I normally try and start my morning upbeat, so I listen to 5 upbeat musical songs that have fairly up-tempo and positive lyrics, and that sort of gets my day going. And then between medication and a positive attitude, I just sort of try and survive through the day.
Definitely. So, of course, we're talking about April being Parkinson's Awareness Month, and as well as being aware of Parkinson's and educating yourself. It's also about finding that sense of community. Can you talk to me about how important that is to find support?
Well, it's important to find somebody that you're comfortable talking about the disease with, because if you're not comfortable with the disease, then it's going to make other people that you hang around with uncomfortable as well. And so the more comfortable you are with it, the more comfortable they are with it as well. And so finding a good support group is imperative. And you'll find that you'll probably hang around with more people with Parkinson's, but it's still important to hang around with people who don't have Parkinson's. Certainly.
Would you say that here in Saskatchewan, we have a good community of support?
Yes, there's unfortunately, COVID has interfered with a lot of the support groups. But, Saskatoon has a wonderful support group. I've talked to one in Moose Jaw, some in Kindersley. They're all over the place. And there's a lot of very good online support groups, too, not just through Parkinson's Canada. I belong to one out of Knoxville, Tennessee, that has 60 different countries represented.
Wow. What would you say, what would your advice be if someone is watching this interview and maybe they just received a diagnosis recently? What would your advice to them be?
My advice would be don't get caught up in the maze or coulds, like Parkinson's could do this, Parkinson's could do that, because it could not as well. And, I've run into a lot of people that have quit their activities because they feared what Parkinson's could happen to them or bring to them. And my philosophy is let Parkinson's prove it's going to take it away from me before I concede it.
Okay, that is really good advice to end on. We thank you so much for your time this morning and for sharing your story with us and our viewers.
Thank you very much.